To be in a happy place. I feel that everybody should be able to speak the truth, no matter what that is. Just be happy, and that's where I'm going to be.
Everyone deserves to be in a happy place, a space where peace isn't just a dream, but a daily reality. A place where you can breathe without fear, speak without judgment, and live without the weight of past trauma dragging you down. I truly believe that every person, no matter their story, should be allowed to speak their truth, no matter how messy, painful, or inconvenient it may be, and still be met with compassion, not condemnation. That's the world I want to live in. That's the energy I choose to carry forward. And that's exactly why I had to make this video. Because right now, there's a story unfolding in the public eye that goes far beyond reality TV drama or celebrity gossip. It's a story that cuts deep into the heart of how we treat women who speak up, how we respond to abuse, and how easily we're manipulated by narratives crafted to protect the powerful. This isn't just about Melody Sherry, Martell Holt, Arian Curry, or Tasha K, though their names are at the center of it. This is about a much larger pattern, one of victim shaming, gaslighting, double standards, and the dangerous silence that allows abuse to continue unchecked. And if you've been watching this unfold on social media, you've likely seen the headlines, the clips, the receipts, and the outrage. But what you may not have seen, what many are deliberately avoiding, is the full picture, the context, the history, the emotional toll, and the reason why so many people, especially women, are feeling protective of Melody right now. This story has everything: courtroom appearances, TikTok live streams, threatening messages, public confrontations, network accountability, and an online firestorm that reveals just how broken our collective response to abuse really is. It's not just messy, it's messy on purpose. Because when someone like Martell Holt is allowed to control the narrative, the truth gets twisted, the victim gets blamed, and the abuser walks away looking like the wronged party. But today, we're not letting that happen. We're not simplifying this into he said, she said. We're not reducing Melody's pain to content for clout. We're digging deeper, past the sound bites, past the memes, past the victim-blaming comments, to examine what's really going on. And trust me, by the time you reach the end of this video, you'll understand why so many fans are demanding justice, accountability, and change. So don't click away, don't scroll past, don't assume you already know the story, because this is one of those rare moments where the full truth matters, and it's time we all paid attention. Let's start at the beginning, or at least the moment this story exploded into the public consciousness. Recently, Melody Sherry made the brave decision to go live on TikTok and speak directly to her audience about the ongoing harassment she claims she's endured from her ex-husband, Martell Holt. Now for context, Melody and Martell were married for years and shared children together, but their relationship has been tumultuous for a long time, something fans of Love and Marriage, Huntsville have witnessed over multiple seasons. What made this TikTok live different was the level of detail, the raw emotion, and the very real fear in her voice as she described being followed, stalked, and even threatened with violence. She didn't just say Martell was disrespectful or difficult. She said he showed up at her location uninvited, harassed her in front of her children, and, in one instance, told her he would end her life. These are not exaggerations. These are allegations backed by screenshots, recordings, and witness accounts that have since circulated online. And when Tasha K, a well-known media personality and commentator, reposted Melody's live, the internet erupted. Thousands of people watched, shared, and reacted. Some offered support. Others launched attacks. But the most disturbing part wasn't the backlash, it was who was leading it. Because amid the comments filled with, "We see you, Melody, and you're not alone," there were just as many, if not more, from women who shamed her, mocked her, and accused her of lying for attention and merchandise sales. Think about that for a second. A mother, a business owner, a woman who has worked hard to rebuild her life after a painful divorce, stands up and says, "I'm not safe," and instead of support, she's met with accusations of manipulation and greed. She's told to get over it, as if 5 years of unresolved trauma can be erased with a single apology or a social media post. She's labeled resentful, as if holding someone accountable for abuse is the same as holding a grudge. And she's accused of exploiting her pain to sell products, as if surviving abuse should be monetized quietly, if at all. This is the reality so many women face when they speak up. Not just the fear of their abuser, but the fear of being disbelieved, ridiculed, and isolated by the very people who should be standing with them. And that's exactly why so many stay silent. because they know that when they finally do speak, the world won't rush to their defense. It'll rush to dissect their character, question their motives, and minimize their pain. But let's be clear, Melody isn't the one creating drama. She's the one responding to it. Every time we see a video of Martell showing up unannounced, confronting her, or making threats, it's her who's expected to stay calm, to walk away, to rise above. Meanwhile, Martell faces no consequences, not from the law, not from the network, not from his inner circle. He posts videos laughing, mocking her appearance, calling her delusional, and yet he's still treated like the victim. That's not justice. That's gaslighting on a public scale. Now let's talk about Martell's response, because it's textbook manipulation. After Tasha K shared Melody's live, Martell allegedly texted her and said, "Really?" laughing. Anything to get those goods sold. Think about the cruelty in that statement. He's not denying the abuse. He's not apologizing. He's not even engaging with the substance of what Melody said. Instead, he's reducing her trauma to a marketing strategy, implying that a woman who says she's been threatened with death is just trying to move units. That's not just dismissive, it's dehumanizing. And then he doubles down by saying, "If I'd really done anything, I'd be in jail," as if the criminal justice system is some flawless arbiter of truth. As if a $300 fine, which is reportedly all he was ordered to pay, is meaningful accountability. As if protection orders and restraining orders are handed out lightly. The reality is, the system fails victims every day. Police don't always intervene. Judges don't always act. And abusers like Martell know that. They count on the fact that their actions won't result in real consequences. So they keep pushing, keep testing boundaries, keep showing up. And when the victim finally breaks silence, they paint her as the aggressor. That's exactly what's happening here. Martell claims he sent videos to Tasha K revealing the truth, but we all know how that works. It's about selective editing, out-of-context clips, and emotional manipulation. It's a classic tactic: provoke a reaction, record it, and then say, "See, she's the unstable one." But you can't provoke someone into being abusive. You can't harass someone into being the villain. And you certainly can't dress professionally for court and somehow become the problem. Which brings us to the absurd Sunday best argument. Melody showed up to court in a white suit, polished, put together, respectful. And for that, Martell mocked her, acting like she was overdressed or trying too hard. But here's the thing. That's how you're supposed to dress for court. That's showing respect for the process. Meanwhile, Hannah Grace, who was actually in the courtroom, shared a photo of Martell himself, dressed sharply, looking like he was ready for a photo shoot. So why is it okay for him to look good, but not her? And what about Arian Curry? Eka Coleslaw, who showed up in a super short skirt, looking like she was headed to a club. Was she criticized for her outfit? No. In fact, she was celebrated for it. But Melody, for simply presenting herself with dignity, gets shamed for trying too hard. That's not just a double standard. It's a pattern of policing women's behavior while excusing men's actions. And it's happening in real time in front of millions. Then there's the infamous elevator incident, a moment that perfectly encapsulates the power dynamics at play. After a court appearance, Melody, Arian, Martell, and security all ended up in the same elevator. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife, and instead of staying quiet, Arian immediately started drama, accusing Melody of talking to someone's husband like that was the issue. Let that sink in. A woman says she's being stalked and threatened, and the response from another woman is to police her conversations. Meanwhile, Arian continues to publicly defend Martell, throw shade at Melody, and act like she's the one being wronged, despite having entered the picture after the marriage ended. That's not confidence. That's insecurity. That's not loyalty. That's complicity. And Melody, she didn't escalate. She didn't engage. She didn't lose her cool. She stayed composed because she knows what's at stake. Her reputation, her children, her future. She understands that one misstep, one emotional reaction could be used against her forever. So she carries the weight with grace. And that's what real strength looks like. Not screaming, not fighting, but choosing peace in the face of chaos. But here's the deeper issue. The people who are supposed to protect the cast, the producers, the network, the family members, have largely stayed silent or actively minimized the situation. Carlos King, the producer of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, is now under intense scrutiny because fans have learned that Melody texted production saying she didn't feel safe and asking them to send someone to her house And no one came. No check-in, no security, no support. Meanwhile, the show has aired years of tension, conflict, and red flags involving Martell, but never intervened. That's not entertainment, that's exploitation. And let's not forget Letitia Scott and Marceau Scott, who've repeatedly made light of Martell's behavior, laughed off Melody's pain, and positioned themselves as moral authorities while defending a man who's been documented harassing his ex. And Wanda. She occasionally says she supports Melody. But where is that support when it matters? Where is the public defense, the solidarity, the accountability? The truth is, Melody often stands alone, while Martell gets passes, second chances, and platforms. And that's why so many fans feel protective of her. They see the imbalance, they see the pattern, they see the gaslighting. And that brings us to the most dangerous part of all, when other women, especially Black women, turn on each other instead of demanding justice. Because when women shame Melody for speaking up, they're not just hurting her, they're reinforcing the system that silences all of us. They're saying, if you're abused, stay quiet. If you're threatened, suffer in silence. If you're scared, don't burden us with your truth. And that's how abusers win. Not through violence alone, but through isolation, shame, and silence. So let this be a wake-up call. Believe women. Stop the victim shaming. Call out the double standards. And demand accountability from individuals, from families, and from networks that profit off pain without protecting the people who endure it. Melody isn't asking for fame. She's asking for safety, for peace, for the right to exist without fear. And she deserves that. We all do. If this video opened your eyes, hit like, share it, and subscribe. Let's make sure stories like this aren't buried under drama, but seen for what they really are. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Melody is being treated fairly? Should Carlos King and the network respond? Why do women so often turn on each other in situations like this? Let's have the conversation.